Hey guys, NC85 back with another video. Today I'm going to continue with my Forward Controls Design upper receiver, and today we're going to install the barrel. Last video I installed the forward assist and the dust cover, and today, like I said, I'm going to install the barrel. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in my DPMS Panther Claw upper receiver Vise Block. Pop these pins in place, and I really like this Vise Block for installing barrels. Otherwise, as far as like working on upper receivers and torquing barrel nuts, I prefer the Geisley reaction rod. But for this first part, I like the DPMS Panther Claw because it just keeps everything nice and secure while I fit the barrel into the upper receiver. Now this is a really tight fitting barrel into this upper, so I'm going to show how you can use a little bit of heat to assist with getting that in. But as far as tools that you're going to need, you're going to want something to hold your upper receiver in place while you do this. You'll want some Aeroshell 33 MS grease. I have a little tiny container here that's lasted me years. I mean, you can see that it's still a ton in there, and I've built a lot of rifles. But you can buy the big, like the huge tube like this, and this is like 3 lifetimes worth of a supply. But let's go ahead and dive in and get this barrel installed into the upper. Okay, so first things first, we want to make sure that everything is clean on the inside of the upper. You'll notice this notch right here. That notch is where this barrel extension index pin goes into place. So what I like to do is I like to take a little bit of Aeroshell and kind of just swirl it around on the inside here. And all I'm doing at this current time is just getting the barrel into the upper. I'm not installing the barrel nut yet. That'll be the next step, but just for now, I'm putting it in here. So you can try to get the barrel to go in without any heat, but like you can see, this one's really tight. So I'm just gonna heat this up a little bit. I have a Wagner heat gun. There's a high and a low setting, and I'm just going to go on high here for a little bit, carefully not to melt the Panther Claw, but I'm just going to heat this up a little bit and then we'll fit it in place. As you get it heated up, you're going to want to have your barrel ready to go with the index pin. And then just start working it in there. Looks like this one's going to be really tight since it already started to cool. And it's not going in. So I'll have to heat it up a little bit more. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of elbow grease and some wiggling, but you should be able to get it. So I'm in a little bit further, but I'm going to heat it up again a little bit more. Now, if you run into a problem where you're super close like this and you've tried the heat method and you still can't get it in, what you can do is take just like a cheap A2 muzzle device and go ahead and thread it onto the muzzle. Alright, so this is just a cheap A2. And then using something non-marring, like this is just a Vise Block, you can place this here, and then either using a dead blow plastic hammer or a rubber mallet, you can just kind of beat it into place a little bit. But that's why it's important that you have the index pin lined up, because you don't want to beat it into submission and end up just forcing this into the threads here. You want it to go into that notch. So I go ahead and give you the view here, the notch, while I kind of bang this into submission. Make sure that your Vise block is really nice and tight in the vise. So as you can see, it is now in place, properly indexed. It's not all the way flush, but it's enough where when I put the barrel nut on, which will be the next step, and we tighten that, it'll just bring it right home. So now we'll move on to the next step of installing the barrel nut. So I've switched my upper Vise block to a Geisley super reaction rod, and the super reaction rod allows me to take the load of the upper receiver off of the index pin when I tighten the barrel nut. So the rail that I'm installing is the Forward Controls RHF 15. This is the 15-incher. So this is not a GI barrel nut, but the process is basically the same. What I'm going to do is tighten first when installing the barrel nut. So I am going to tighten this one first. So bear with me while I get that done quick. So now this is like locked in there. We're going to take our barrel nut and apply some more of that wonderful Aeroshell 33 MS grease. And then I also put some right on the threads here, right on the upper. You don't need a whole bunch, but you want to make sure that it's going to be evenly coated in the threads. Because we don't have a gas block on yet, that's why we're just going to bring this over and start threading this on. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Alright, now this is specific to this rail, right? And this says single use, 50 foot-pounds max. With a GI barrel nut you can go up to 80, but in this case we're just going to go to 50. Now you want to do something called seasoning the threads, which is when you tighten and loosen it 3 times, and that allows you to make sure that you have that grease evenly displaced between the threads. So I'm not going to go ham on this. I'm just going to tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, loosen it. Because remember, I still had to bring that barrel in just a touch. So that was using a breaker bar. You never want to loosen anything with your torque wrench. But now I have my torque wrench out. I got this one from Home Depot, I think. And I set it to 50 foot-pounds. And that is 50 foot-pounds. So now that is on there and installed properly. In the next video, we will take a look at installing the gas block onto the barrel and making sure that everything lines up correctly. Thanks for watching, guys.